The end of the government shutdown may be temporary, and so is the relief it brings to First Coast families. On Friday, President Trump announced the federal government would reopen today. On your side's Eric Alvarez is live tonight at Jacksonville International Airport to explain why a lot of families are still very worried. Eric?
Yeah, well, right now here at JIA, air traffic controllers, TSA agents are back on the job, but they aren't quite sure exactly how long that's going to last. And that is why for federal employees and their families, the coming weeks bring a sense of relief, but also a sense of anxiety. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association says it remains hopeful the temporary deal to reopen the government will lead to a long-term deal, preventing what it calls a senseless shutdown. The statement comes almost 2 weeks after NATCA members handed out pamphlets to travelers at JIA, urging them to contact politicians in Washington to end the shutdown, claiming public safety was at risk as 3,000 NATCA members were furloughed.
We just want to keep working and get paid.
Meanwhile, Rachel Broxson, whose husband is in the Coast Guard, says weeks without pay left families like hers at the ends of their ropes.
I've met so many people that were running out of food and had no money for bills.
On Friday, President Trump ended the shutdown temporarily, warning that if he didn't get funding for his border wall, the government would shut down again after February 15th. The NATCA says it requires a stable, predictable funding stream in order to adequately support air traffic control services, staffing, hiring, and training. It's an uncertain future for federal workers and their families who are keeping an eye on Washington, hoping for the best, but planning for the worst.
A lot of us are like stocking up all the extra money that we can. So some of us are catching up on bills that we couldn't pay at the time. So we're doing it all now, and then we're saving the rest of it for just in case if this ends up happening again.
Now, Broxson tells me her family has received at least one paycheck, but next on First Coast News at 6, why even getting the money they're owed might not be enough to fix all of the problems for federal workers and their families. Live at JIA, Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.